Shalom. We are in Parashah Kitisa, and I'm trying something new. What I'm doing is the preparation in the morning. I will include the slide into this morning session, so at least you have the information there as well. And I think it will benefit having the visuals while listening. Alright, Kitisa, I just want to continue something from yesterday. I've re-uploaded the videos, which includes the slides. If you want to watch it again, you're welcome. So the last bit of yesterday's slide was the word Kitisa. Tisa comes from the word Nisa. And Nisa means to carry a load, carry a burden, and to forgive and to exalt. Now, that is in the context of the conversion process, the transformation process of the 3 Alefs, and also the carrying of the yoke in context of the training of the priests, or the training of the priesthood. That's the main topic of this Torah portion, or one of the main topics that's associated with the Laver as well, and I'm going to touch on that in a moment. So Nisa, to forgive, and to carry a load, to take up a load, those are the 2 things that we face every day in this life. Every day someone will do something that might offend you, and you need to let go, you need to forgive, and then you need to pick up Yahweh's standard and carry whatever you need to carry. Sometimes you need to carry something in your life which is a burden, maybe something from your past that you have to carry with you. And that's a load that you have to bear regardless of your transformation process as becoming a bondservant, specifically just coming into the kingdom. And your past can basically be a heavy load on you. And the other big load that you need to let go of in order to carry Yahweh's load is to let go of the load of unforgiveness. Now, forgiveness is one of the greatest things that Yahweh gave us, because we are in a fallen state. We all have skeletons in the closet. We all have done something that is sinful, some more severe than others. But Yahweh's grace and Yahweh's ability to forgive wash away all those sins. Now, if you look at 3 of the main patriarchs, 3 of the main men that Yahweh chose was Moshe, and he was someone who killed another man. Then you have David. He also killed a man, and he committed adultery. And then you have Paul, who persecuted and killed the believers. And Yahweh used all 3 of them mightily. So his forgiveness is greater than one of the most severe sins that we can think about. And we should not underestimate the power of the forgiveness of Yahweh. And that's where Nisa, or to forgive, comes into play in part of this conversion process. Yahweh has the power and the authority to forgive you, to allow you into the household, so that you can further be transformed into a priest. Now that's where the next step, this is where this week's or today's little topic comes into play. And that has to do with the Laver. Now the Laver is the word kior, that means pulpit. It comes from the word kur, that means fire pot or fire pit. And it's linked to a passage in Proverbs that has to do with the purification of silver. So the purification process of the Laver, which is symbolic of water, is also within its meaning the symbolism of fire. So water and fire is the 2 mediums that will cleanse you and purge you in order to rid you from that defilement of which you've just been forgiven as you came into this house of Yahweh. Now, what's interesting about this verse in Exodus 30, verse 19 to 20, it says that you need to cleanse yourself, wash yourself with water as you enter, or before you enter the holy place, which is the sanctuary, or when you access the brazen altar, lest you die. So it's a very serious instruction, because it's life-threatening. The other instruction, or it's not an instruction, it's something we know, is when you access the Holy of Holies as a high priest, you need to be purified and cleansed from your sin, going through mikvah and sin sacrifice and all of that, lest you die. Because if you come into Yahweh's presence with sin, you will die. And that accounts for entering the Holy of Holies, the most holy place. But now we see you also access the brazen altar, which is in the outer court, and you have to cleanse yourself at the laver before you do that, lest you die. Or when you enter the holy place, you have to cleanse yourself at the laver, lest you die. So this cleansing process is a preparation process that allows you to access the brazen altar. And the brazen altar is linked to forgiveness. And what I want to highlight here is that the laver is the object of grace. That is what allows you not to die. If you take the water of the word and you wash yourself and you go through the purification process of fire, which is carrying the load of this life and all its challenges, upholding the standard of Yahweh, walking in His light, standing on the foundation of His truth, regardless of your situation. That's the fire. Those two things will purify you and make you worthy of entering into the holy place and becoming a priest, regardless of your sin that you committed in the past. Because as Paul said, you are now a new man, newborn. The old man or the old woman is dead. No longer live, but Yahweh, through Mashiach, Yeshua, lives within me. And it's through His grace, His laver, that I have access to the brazen altar, which is the symbolism of forgiveness, accepting the sacrifices, receiving the sacrifice. And I want to emphasize this: if Yeshua's blood is not able to forgive any sin, regardless of whatever sin it is, His blood is not all-powerful. Just think about it. Any sin you can think of can be forgiven by Yeshua through His blood of His sacrifice. I know it's difficult for us to comprehend and understand. If you think about Hitler, for example, can he be forgiven? Yes, he can, because the blood of Messiah is greater than the greatest sin. And we need to think about not our limitation and our limited understanding of what sin is now, severe sin is and all that. We should see it from Yahweh's point of view on how powerful He is, how powerful His blood is, the blood of Messiah, and how great His grace is for washing you clean, cleansing you and purging you, making you a new creation. That is extremely powerful. Now, the other thing to understand is that washing of the water of the word, a lot of people don't really take note of that. Yeah, I'll read a book, 7 Steps to Prosperity, and I'll read this and I'll listen to that little video there and whatever. The power is in the word, and the washing of the word is the message of repentance and the message of purging and cleansing you from your fleshliness, your sinfulness, and anything that is not aligned with Yahweh's character. And we learn about Yahweh's character and the definition of what sin is in any aspect of your life within the Torah, and it's called His instructions. So if you say His instructions, His Torah, His commandments are abolished, you basically empty the laver from its water. And guess what? You just removed grace and the ability to cleanse you, and the ability to access the brazen altar, and your ability to walk into the holy place and becoming a priest. You just annulled that. You abolished that. And you will not move further. And the other thing that we read here is, lest you die. There's a chance for you to die spiritually and not enter into the kingdom if you reject the water of the word, and the power of the blood and the sacrifice of Mashiach. And that is signified by the brazen altar and the laver, the fire pot, the cleansing and purging, and the pulpit, the preaching of the gospel message of repentance, in cleansing you from all sin, all iniquity, so you can stand with a white robe and be able to be elevated to the next level, the third dive, and that is to become part of the bride. And so that's basically what I want to highlight, the combination between the two, moving from one to another. And for those who haven't really committed sin in their lives or think that they're holy, you don't understand the power of Yahweh's grace and the power of His forgiveness. Those like Paul, Moses, and David, they understood Yahweh's grace. They understood Yahweh's forgiveness because they are the ones who were desperately in need of that, because they committed severe sin against man and against Yahweh. Just think about that. So I hope you were blessed by this message, and I hope you have a lovely day, and I will speak to you soon. Shalom.